Welcome to Winning Retirement Television. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Greg and Kristen Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group. And to our viewers at home, this is a very special show today. We are going to be talking about the viewer questions, and we can't thank you enough for always listening to the radio show, to the podcast, watching the television show. This show is dedicated to you, our viewers at home today. Greg, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Exciting to be on the show today. We've got some good questions today. I'm excited about those.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I am too, because people love watching you both together. Kristen, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing?
Fantastic. I love that color on you.
Thank you. I was going to say that. I love that blush, and then Greg looks sharp. We all kind of coordinate.
And we didn't
I like
even
when we
plan
do
it.
that. It's fun.
I know, and we didn't even plan ahead, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So you're both amazing. I love working with you and being in the studio with you because you really listen to what the viewers have to say when people are calling in. And I know recently we were talking during our lunch break together that you actually had an experience at a restaurant recently, Kristen. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, with questions. Imagine. It's your favorite show topic, right?
It is.
We were at True Food Kitchen, which is one of Greg and I's favorite restaurants. We go there just about every Sunday. They know our order. They come out with the drinks. They know exactly
Yes.
what we want. And we were there on an oddball night, and next to us there was a couple and a lady, and they were talking, and I kept hearing little tidbits that sounded like it was a financial conversation. I thought, well, maybe that's their advisor. I was trying to understand the dynamic. I wasn't eavesdropping or anything.
No,
but I was
not
just
at
trying
all.
to understand the dynamic. And they're talking, and then I hear the lady who was sitting with the gentleman, she said, I wonder why I have to take the money out. I don't want to take the money out. I wonder why I have to. And I just couldn't help myself, and I get antsy, and Greg's looking at me. He's like, you want to answer the question, don't you? And I said, I do. So I said, excuse me, I'm not eavesdropping, but you said that kind of loud. Hopefully they're not watching. And I said, we can help you. We do this for a living. We're not trying to, get you as a client or anything like that, but we'd love to answer your questions. So we proceeded to talk about, it was an inherited IRA question is what it was. It was her brother, I think, right? It was her brother and the other one's relative. They were related that way.
Okay.
And so they were trying to figure out how to take the money out for the required minimum distributions for the inherited IRA. And so after we answered that question, they had some follow-up questions, which was really interesting.
It was.
It was like being a fly on the wall in a conversation in a household. You think, as we walk through life, and this is what we do for a living, you forget that some of the most simple things that we just know, some people have questions about.
Of course.
And so I love when we do question shows or when I'm out and about and I hear questions and we're able to help answer them, because it gives me an idea of what we should really talk about on our TV and radio shows. I mean,
Most
it's really good.
definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. And I'm so glad that you actually approached them, because a lot of people wouldn't have had that foresight, if you will, to say, can we help you? I would love to help you. So I'm sure they really loved you coming over to the table.
Yeah, I guess that was a gamble. I mean, they looked friendly, but they could have said, you weirdo. No, I'm not.
I wanted to help.
That's what I would have said.
Probably.
Well, I want to jump into the first question. Actually, this was a viewer, and she shared with us that she's in between jobs. She's wondering if this would be a good time to have her 401k looked at by someone else. She's curious as to if she should be doing better than how it's currently allocated. How do you help someone like that in between jobs?
A life change like that, where you are shifting jobs, or we've seen a lot of people lately that have gotten buyouts or have been laid off or have been downsized out or have just retired. And it's an opportunity. Mm-hmm. It's an opportunity to see where you stand. Mm-hmm. Because when you are in the company 401k plan, first of all, there's limited options. So sometimes the default is we end up going into the target date funds, the 2025 fund or the 2030 fund or the 2020 fund. And in general, we invest in these and we really don't even know what we're investing in. Well, if I'm going to retire in 2025, that looks like a good one to be in. So it's an opportunity to find out, first of all, can we do better than the options that we currently have? Are there better opportunities? then it's an opportunity to look at it and see, can I become more tax efficient? You know, should I keep delaying my taxes in that 401k, or is there an opportunity perhaps roll that over into an IRA and now think about things like converting it over to a tax-free Roth IRA? That's not always the case. Some cases I recommend people keep it where it is because they're already in a super high tax bracket. But for the majority that are in the 24% tax bracket or below, meaning they have, you know, as a married couple, under $380,000 of income each year, well, then in that case, it might make some sense to think about becoming more tax efficient for the long term. So a lot of that, or is my 401k structured in such a way that it makes sense for my long-term vision towards retirement? And you have to think about other things like fees.
Yes, yes.
You know, how much fees are inside of my 401k and how much fees would be in perhaps other investments.
Well, and I think we need to break that down a little further with the fee question, because I think that's similar to a question, you know, someone might have in their household is, okay, what if my 401k has low fees?
Yeah.
And then what I'm looking at has a you know, a standard investment fee.
Yes.
And if I'm comparing these two, I might want to take the 401k fee because it's lower. But I don't think it's always that simple. I know it's not always that simple because it comes down to the value you're getting
Exactly.
for what you are paying for, right?
Sure.
You're going to get what you pay for. I think we
Sure.
joked a couple shows ago about Geranimals. You know,
Yes.
and I think it was at Kmart where you could buy those.
I think so too. I remember that.
Now the quality years ago was great, but now if you're comparing, you know, a Kmart clothing item to something maybe at Macy's, you might have a different quality that you're looking at, right? And you're
That's
paying
true.
a little more for the one thing over the other. So I think it's important to consider that, not just the fee, but the value you're getting.
Sure. Today I'm wearing my turtle outfit, my turtle pants, my turtle jacket. So it's all good.
Great. I have the hippo one.
You have to go back a few shows to get
Yes.
the inside joke on that
Yes.
one. Yes.
So how do my 401k investments align with my overall capacity and tolerance for risk?
Yes.
That's a big one because most folks that have their 401k tested don't really have a genuine sense of what amount of risk versus return they actually have, and understanding what that looks like. Because it's not just, okay, am I paying more or am I paying less, but am I getting a good return versus the risk that I'm taking? Or
Sure.
am I taking more risk than I'm actually realizing that I'm trying to take? So those are all big parts of what we're trying to do with that 401k conversation. Does it make sense to keep it where it is, or does it make sense to do something different? Now, there are some instances where it makes sense to keep it where it is based on where you are in life and retirement. So if you're under 59 and a half and you're trying to get that income out, sometimes it makes sense to leave some in the 401k.
These are all amazing questions from the viewers. Perfect time for us to take our first commercial break. Would you
Yes,
both agree?
absolutely.
All right. To our viewers at home, there's a number to call on your screen, 614-336-7660. If you're in the viewing audience today and you're asking yourself the same question, I have a 401k, should I roll it over to a new employee? What should I do? Greg and Kristen have the answers for you. All they're doing is offering you today that complimentary consultation, calling in at 614-336-7660. We realize the retirement years can be scary. You're not sure where to start. You're not sure where to go next. They're offering you this complimentary consultation. All you have to do is claim your spot today by calling in 614-336-7660 or grab your smartphone, click on that QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That will take you right to Legacy Retirement Group's landing page. You can claim your spot accordingly. We're going to take a very short commercial break, but viewers at home, this is all about you today. We have more viewer questions when we return. We'll be right back momentarily.
I'm sometimes nervous when I don't know exactly what to expect. I find that there's a little hesitation in folks to want to go meet with an advisor. Maybe they're not sure of how they've done compared to others, but it's really our job to just sit down and have a conversation. There's an advisor for almost every street corner here in our city. At Legacy Retirement Group, we believe that if you plan smart, you can retire well. We want you to be successful. in any economy. And how do you accomplish that in today's world? Well, we first want to look at the principles by which we're playing. No investment decision should ever be made outside the context of your plan. Then your plan determines your positions and what you hold in retirement. We want you to manage risk. We want you to not be surprised by healthcare costs or inflation or taxes. We don't want those to derail your retirement, and our focus has always been consistency and efficiency. Really trying to maintain what it is that we've spent our lifetime accumulating, and now transitioning that into a plan, transitioning that into something that feels secure and gives me peace of mind so that I know I'm not going to outlive my money. It's nice to see that relief in people's faces when you can tell they're confident in their plan.
Greg really gets pleasure out of seeing our client's success.
Welcome back to Winning Retirement Television. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Greg and Kristen Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group. And to our viewers at home, this show is all about you. We're answering viewer questions, and we have a lot more to get through, so stay with us. So Greg and Kristen, this next one, your team actually heard from a woman in her late 50s. She's concerned about taxes, being able to withdraw from her retirement accounts, and leaving a legacy to her children. Can one realistically accomplish all of that? It seems kind of mixed, like a plate of spaghetti.
Well, I thought it's interesting that it's a woman because we want it all, don't we?
Yes, we do.
And we can do it all.
Yes, we can.
With just a little bit of planning and a little bit of guidance, we can accomplish things. And women, I think, are great pivoters, right?
That is true.
They're able to do different things. And so I find it interesting that she is taking control of the situation and trying to figure out what she can accomplish with what she has. So that's great.
It is, and we hear these things nearly every single day in our office. These are the things that people are concerned about. Taxes, how much of my life saving is Uncle Sam going to try to grab in taxes? Making sure I have enough income to last my lifetime, and can I leave something to the next generation? Those are the things, and I think it's important to really look at that big picture first. And looking at the big picture, what we're looking at is, okay, how much has someone actually saved?
Yeah.
Because that has something to do with it.
Sure.
What we've saved doesn't define us, but it does help kind of capture what it is we're able to accomplish for the rest of our days, and then what we can do for the next generation. So then, how much do we actually need to withdraw from that? What is it going to take to maintain our lifestyle? Because the most important part of your retirement plan really should be continuing the way you want to live and being able to not have to change the way you live because you're retired.
Sure.
And as we've talked on previous shows, we want that next big thing to be capable and be a possibility. We want people to be able to dream. To me, the saddest day in our life is the day where we stop dreaming.
That's true.
Where we stop growing, where we stop being able to look forward to tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think half the battle is knowing what it is you want to do. And she's got a clear vision of the things that she wants to accomplish, especially with the legacy planning part. Because some people, it is that simple. They don't care about taking big trips or doing things. They want to be able to know that there's going to be a little bit left for the ones they care about the most.
Absolutely.
And that's okay too. And so as we go through and planning, knowing that big picture, I think is important to starting the planning process.
It really is. And understanding what someone's tax bracket is.
Yes.
Because, one of those concerns there was taxes.
Yes.
Well, we need to know what tax bracket you're in, because I just got an email from a client a couple weeks ago, and he's like, we want to make sure we're looking at the Roth, and he makes too much currently to do contributions. And unfortunately, at this point, I emailed him back. I said, you're in the highest tax bracket right now. I'm not so sure that we want to be aggressive about Roth conversions in the highest tax bracket. But I said, it is on our radar, but I don't want you to pay 35% on a Roth conversion when once you retire in a couple of years, we can lower that percentage.
Sure.
So that was my advice in that particular instance. And it's, most of our listeners would say, well, Greg, I never hear you talk about not doing a Roth conversion.
It's a good example to bring up
Yes.
because it's not a one size fit all, right?
It isn't.
When we start talking about tax efficiency, and we have to really start looking at the big picture. We have to know a lot of information to see if it makes sense before we would even suggest that or have a CPA look at things to advise that for a client.
And then I think it's important that we come to terms with our priorities.
Yes.
So which is most important? Saving on taxes, having income that lasts our lifetime, or leaving a legacy financially to the next generation. Because in some cases, people can do it all. And I love it when that is the case.
We can always do it all.
Do it all.
Yeah.
I wish.
Women especially.
But in some cases, we have to prioritize.
Yes.
And I would start with the income plan. I always start there because that's where people need to live, as we mentioned. But then second, let's look at taxes, because one of the wonderful things about becoming tax efficient is you can pass that tax-free account on to your heirs, and guess what? It goes to them tax-free.
That's phenomenal.
So I'd much rather leave them a tax-free Roth than a tax burden or a tax bill. So that's part of it right there. Now, how do we accomplish this? It's based on structure. So part of the structure of a retirement plan is the financial part, which is what we call the 3-bucket approach. So that's having a liquid bucket so they can sleep well at night when there's an emergency. There's the income bucket, which we want to fund fully so they can live their lifestyle. And then there's the growth bucket, which allows them to accomplish 2 things: being able to keep pace with inflation and being able to leave a lasting legacy to the next generation. That is how it's structured. When you try to do it all out of one bucket, you can run into massive problems, and then the whole thing comes tumbling down.
Sure.
And we don't want that to happen to anybody.
No, and people are so concerned about that, especially when it comes to taxes. That is obviously the biggest concern that most people have right now. Would you agree with that,
Yes.
Yeah, I
Kristen?
mean, it's income and tax efficiency. I mean, those are 2 trending topics. I mean, I think those are even top Google searches right now because people are really concerned about doing the best they can with what they have, being good stewards of the money that they've worked really hard to get throughout their life.
Yeah.
And also the RMD reports, correct? That's something else that people are usually curious about?
It is, because it's one thing to be concerned about taxes. It's another thing to actually know what you might be facing.
Yes.
And I see people all the time, they're 60 years old, they've done a wonderful job saving into those tax deferred accounts. They've saved $250,000 or they saved $500,000 or some $1 million or more, and they don't have any idea what that required minimum distribution might look like at age 73 or 75, depending on how old they are today. And having a grasp on that can be the beginning of starting the path of getting a solid retirement plan.
Absolutely. Kristen, thank you so much. Greg, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, if you have concerns about taxes, if you have concerns about your RMDs, what Greg and Kristen are offering you today are the tax map and the RMD report. They want to take a look at where you currently are with your retirement situation. Are you on the right path to retire comfortably? What happens if taxes go up in the future? Do you think they will? Most people would agree that they will. So have the tax map drawn up for you. All you have to do is call in to gain that, 614-336-7660. If you don't have your pen handy, go ahead, grab your smartphone. This is even easier. Click on that QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That will take you right to Legacy Retirement Group's landing page. You can schedule your time with Greg and Kristen and the team by using their Calendly link. And go ahead and do that. That way you can have your tax map and your RMD report designed just for you, customized to your needs. We're going to take a very short commercial break here on Winning Retirement Television with Greg and Kristen Taylor, but don't go anywhere. Remember, this is your show today. These are top viewer questions. We'll be right back momentarily.
They've got quite an extensive resume. Wow, so many years of management. Bet that was fun. So this job requires basic knowledge of the social media and video platforms, content creation, and SEO. How proficient are you in those areas?
Going back to work after retiring is not ideal. I'm Kristen Taylor with Legacy Retirement Group. If you've amassed a nest egg, it's time for a financial advisor to help you reach your retirement goals. This is one of the greatest tax windows in history. Now is the time to take advantage of this tax discount while you can. We specialize in retirement planning, tax mitigation, estate planning, and much more. Plan your retirement right. Call now for your portfolio review and tax analysis.
Welcome back to Winning Retirement TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Greg and Kristen Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group. And viewers at home, this is your show, and we know that you have questions about relocation in retirement. Do you? Are you thinking about a move? Well, this next segment is going to be geared towards you. We had actually a viewer that called in. This is a retired couple. They reached out saying that they've saved and invested for the future. They have 2 pensions, and they want to buy a home in sunny Florida. They're hoping that having your team put together a personalized income and investment plan for retirement will show if what amount of home that they can buy, if you will, in the Sunshine State. So how do you go about answering that question if someone wants to relocate to another beautiful, sunny area?
I love that question.
Oh, I do too.
I got excited. I think we're all smiling right now.
Yes.
As soon as you hear Sunshine State, I think is what they put in there, right?
Yes, the Sunshine State.
I love when people have a vision for what they want their retirement to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, I just want to say bravo to you watching that have that vision already laid out. And really, the groundwork in this question is already there as to what we need to do, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a question with some answers in it, wouldn't you say, Greg?
It really is. And, it's everybody's retirement dream to be able to do what it is that is important to them.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean that everybody wants to have a house in Florida. Mm-hmm. Some people absolutely don't want that. Some people just want to visit for a week or two. Some people don't want to travel at all. Some people have different ideas. But the whole part of a retirement plan is to help you find out if you can accomplish the things that you dream.
Well, step 1, dream something. Step 2, know how to get there, right?
Oh, for sure. And step 3 is, don't wait. Start now with your plan. So it's really important that we don't, just wonder, can we accomplish our goals, but we actually test it out to see, can we accomplish our goals? So Kristen and I love going to Florida.
Yes.
I mean, Disney is our place, and
we're not moving.
No. We love going to Orlando, and I just had a thought. So one of our favorite Christmas movies, it's super funny. There's 3 sons, and they were one was Orlando, Denver, and Dallas, and so they were named after the cities in which they were conceived. So it's hilarious.
That's a random thought.
It is.
Land your plane.
That's cute.
I was thinking about Orlando, okay? So we love going there to Disney World. We love seeing Mickey and Minnie and Goofy and, the whole crew. And that's what the Taylors like to do. Some people don't want any part of Disney. They want to go to the beaches, or they just want to go. We have several families that go to
Arizona.
Or they go to the villages there in Florida. In fact, so we met with a family recently that they want to buy a house in the villages.
Okay.
And they know the exact area that they want to buy in. They know exactly what it's going to cost. And so as we're sitting down with this couple, what was so neat was they're like, the husband's like, we can't do it. The wife's like, we can do it. And so it's so funny, right at that first meeting, and I'm just kind of watching back and forth them. It's like a ping pong ball going back and forth as they're talking. And I said, okay, I'm not sure which one of you is right, but let's get down to it. So we started talking about where they were, how much they'd saved, how much they were going to need. And this couple actually needed a total income stream of about $240,000 a year to check all the boxes. That's a big income.
Absolutely.
So between Social Security and other income they had about half of that coming in retirement. So they had good income already. So now we needed to be able to help them generate an extra $10,000 a month. Well, that's a big ask.
That is.
It really is. Now, fortunately, they'd saved almost $3 million. So I said, okay, here's the thing. If you use Wall Street's math, it's going to take every dime you've saved to generate $120,000 a year. And that's Wall Street's math, by the way, is half in stocks, half in bonds, pull out 4% per year. And so to get 120,000, that would take $3 million.
Wow.
So actually they were a little shy of what they would need. I said, otherwise, we can use another plan where in their case, it was going to take $1.8 million to generate $120,000 a year. So that left them a little over $1 million for growth. So in their case, it was actually a possibility. They had done enough, and there were the right tools out there that they could set up the income they needed. Know this, they knew for the rest of their days they would have $240,000 a year or more coming in and never have to worry about what Wall Street's doing, never have to worry about, who's in the White House, never have to worry about what legislation is passed. They know that they have that amount of income coming in each and every year as long as either of them lived.
Wow.
So that's really when dreams become a reality, is when you sit down with someone who actually knows how to make it a reality. And so if you're 30 years old, trying to make the reality of retirement, you need someone that can help you grow it.
Sure.
If you're 60 years old or older, and now you need someone to help you formulate your plan. And that's really the difference. It's not about, Cynthia, can I dream? It's can I make that dream a reality?
Well, a dream is a wish your heart makes, right?
Oh, I love it.
I love that.
We had to tie in Disney. So I'm sure you have so many questions from people that are thinking about that, but really what it all comes down to, what it boils down to, is having a proper written retirement plan.
It does.
But also, what about a portfolio x-ray if someone's unsure?
Well, the X-ray helps people know where they stand within what they've saved.
Yep.
It really does. To peel back the surface, understand the risk versus return, understand the fees, understand whether or not you're efficient, and understand if it makes sense with what you try to accomplish moving forward. Is my portfolio set up for success in retirement?
So with a lot of the shows that we have done over the years here on TV,
Yes.
we've set up a YouTube page. Okay, so all of our old shows, so if you have questions you're watching today and you're thinking, wait, they didn't address my questions today, all of our past episodes are located at Winning Retirement on YouTube.com.
I love that. I love that. Kristen, thank you so much. Greg, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, thank you for all of the viewer questions that you send in every week. We love hearing from you. We love answering those. If you need to have your retirement plan drawn up or a portfolio x-ray, this is your opportunity with Greg and Kristen today. 614-336-7660. Be safe, be happy, and be blessed. We'll see you back 1 week from today on Winning Retirement Television. Take care.